Okay. Are we live finally? That's the question in everybody's mind. Are we finally live? I don't know. Yes, finally. Jeez. There. Oh. There we go. Oh my gosh. All right. I sent John the new link.
Is it working? Mm-hmm.
All right. We're live.
What, on YouTube?
On YouTube only. Just I'll figure the rest out later. It's the most important part.
Yeah, it gets frustrating. I know it does. And see, yeah, that's what bugs me too. This stuff, this type of lifestyle should not be this frustrating. Like, and then it's like they make everybody's making it seem like, oh, this all relies on Ethan Van Sciver. It's all everything's got to go through him. Everything's on him. He's the leader. He's Caesar. He's daddy. Blah blah blah. Yakety smacky. He only got one dad, and me and him don't even get along. And the damn sure ain't Van Sciver.
Yeah.
I said it on England team stream. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
I said it on England team stream last night, and I'm tired of repeating myself with it. With these idiots and these fake fans of Comicsgate. I'm not kissing nobody's ring. I'm not bowing down to nobody. I respect Van Sciver. I respect all the Comicsgate leaders involved. I'm not jealous of them. I don't want their money. I'm not worried about their projects
Mm-hmm.
per se. As far as if I like it, I'll buy it, I'll read it. If I don't like it, I won't support it. That's all it is to it. I got my own stuff to do. I got my own IPs that I've had copywritten since 2003. I have my own stories I want to write and my own things I want to do. And
So what happened this morning? Because like I said, I missed the beginning, and I guess Ethan's channel got a strike.
yes, it did. He got a
So
strike. He can't stream. Now he's gonna have to build again somehow, some way. Because Renfamous and her little troll faction, or whoever's behind Renfamous and these far leftist trolls, they think it's funny and it's okay to take down everybody who's affiliated with Comicsgate.
well, what stream got a strike, or what video or what stream got a strike? Was it something
I,
specific?
I don't I don't know exactly which Van Sciver stream got hit, but one of his videos got hit. Now he has a community strike like Tug, and
Yeah.
he can't stream for 3 months. So
Ridiculous.
he's gonna have to build another channel of sorts.
Well, we
You know,
knew. I've been telling him that this was going to happen for a long time. I mean, I've been telling him like, dude, you got to get on D Live. You got to be multi-streaming all over the place. Oh,
yeah, he does.
oh, Tug is in the chat.
How you doing, Tug?
uh, do you wanna come on in? You want me to send you a link? Or do you
I
want
would
to?
Tug, please come in, Tug. I would love to talk to Tug because he's a man I need to talk to right now because he understands what's going on.
Yeah, because I totally missed the. Hold on one second. Grab the link here. I
I,
totally
I,
missed most of the show. I really wish I'd seen it, but I fell asleep early and I slept late, and it was just. I only caught the last 30 minutes, and he was saying, "Well, I can't stream anymore." I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're streaming right now." I'm confused. What the hell happened? If you want to, you can come in.
Weird.
Okay, just for a minute. That's cool. If someone could explain this to me, because I totally missed it.
Yeah, there's too much craziness going on.
So, and you don't necessarily, Tug. You don't have to divulge anything you don't want to, but I'm curious to know what the hell happened. So he'll be in here in a minute, I think. I sent it to you on Twitter.
How you doing, Tug?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Hey.
I'm doing fine, other than still, getting over being sick and all this craziness. Them striking down Van Sciver's
Surface,
channel and
uh, there's
yeah,
so much more, man. This is only surface level. It's only
Mm,
there's so much more to it. I'm gonna go into a little bit of it today, in a
yeah.
live stream, because there's a lot more. But yeah, I even wonder. I mean, maybe this is being conspiratorial, but
it
we already
is.
we already had flagging going on. I'm hoping that people are not now flagging other people's channels because they're in the middle of an argument.
It
Oh,
is.
you think
It's a.
it's coming from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, you don't know who does it, and I would sincerely. I mean, we already have enough problems with people like Mark Wade sycophants out there. We don't need a bunch of
Infighting.
people who are just out there trying to flame war each other, trying to take each other out.
It's actually happening like that because now it's like they're trying to turn people of authority and comics get against each other. There was
Hmm.
people. I don't know if you saw it or not. I was on a panel with England Team and Weaponized Nerve Rage and England Team's people last night for about 2.5 hours, and
Yeah,
it
I
was.
caught some of it. Now I didn't get to catch, because it's late here when it comes on, so I didn't get to catch it all. But I did catch some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was people in the comments that were like saying, "Oh, England team is just jealous of Van Sciver. Wait till I go back and tell him," and crazy stuff like that. So it's like you got people out there trying to divide the community within the community too, and it's ridiculous. And then there were people in Van Sciver's stream early on, when he started his stream early, who were like, "Guess what, Uncle E? On England team's channel, they're jealous of all the money you're making," and it made my head explode. And then Dan Scott was sitting there like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on in England team anymore. Like, I'm not worried about that." I'm sitting there like, "Why are you lying? That's not what happened. I was there yesterday on the panel. Why are you lying? Nobody's jealous of even Van Sciver."
I think a lot of
Like,
people I think a lot of people don't understand. There's like two factions of what happens. There are people that talk about the industry walking away from it and not rebuilding anything. They're just looking at it and they're like, this is messed up. That's an England team, that's a weaponized nerd rage. It's what I do. But and if you want to talk about projects that go on and say back a better thing, then that's kind of a directing people towards something. And that's an EVS. That's what he's built up. That's his thing. And, those things, they're not necessarily mutually, inclusive. You can disagree with people. The problem is that there is no conversation by some folks. Some folks do want division. Now, like I said, I make no bones about the fact that I like EVS. He is, in fact, I would not be talking about comic books right now because I had a very shitty experience with some main pros, and EVS was like, hey, ignore that shit. And I actually took time as a pro to be like, hey, man, this, it was before he had a channel or anything involved. He took time for myself and probably a dozen other people. I watched him do this kind of stuff, and whether people agree or disagree with his platform there, I think he does value consumers. I actually do. I just think there's a lot of disagreement on what's going on, and some people do feel like there's a co-opting of what Comicsgate is. I just think it's two separate things. I think you can still talk about walking away from the industry and never ever cover Ethan or anybody else. It doesn't have to be part of it. But I think that I like offering people an alternative. I like a lot of the projects that are out there too. I think there's some really good ones.
yeah, they are. There is, and like I've said plenty of times, I respect the hell out of Van Sciver and Millen and Miller. I have a video. I keep telling people there's a video on my channel under my catalog of videos where I pulled the Doomcock. Doomcock broke down on one of his streams before when he was talking about how they destroyed Star Wars and how that affected him. Mike S. Miller and Edwin Boyer, they had that one stream a couple of weeks back where they were reading the Bible and stuff. It was like a real emotional stream, at least to me. And I made a video about it, like, why is there so much hate for these men like this, when they're doing what they have to do to be better to the community than the Marvel and DC pros? and people are calling us a hate group, hate mongers and stuff. And in the middle of me doing that video, and I held it back as hard as I can, and I ended up breaking down because I respect Tenaple. I respect people like Van Sciver and John Millen and them. Then you got all these hateful people going around talking about some, oh, if you disagree with anything Van Sciver says, you're just jealous. You're just hateful. You're anti-communist gay. Like, no, I mean, no, I don't agree with everything Ethan says, but I'm not jealous of him. I respect the hell out of him. He's a damn good artist. I mean, I'm not an artist. I'm a writer. Like, I mean, yes, I wish I had the skills to be excuse me, an artist, but I don't. I'm a writer, but I'm not jealous of anybody. You know,
But
it's
you
just
got to think about it. You got to think about it in this way. You know, as a writer, you're gifted vernacularly. A lot of people they have limits on how they describe things, and they describe it in the most base form. Like, you know, you're jealous. So okay, well that's not it. They're trying to find a word for something, and it frustrates them. You know, because they feel they're not. Some people are not able to equate seeing multiple levels of this, and it's you know, at the end of the day, like I've gotten to the point where I feel I feel like I'm a traffic cop or something. I've been telling people, hey, you know, professionalism, and I'm not saying I'm above drama. Hell, I've gotten into many an argument. I got an argument with England, and he was talking about it the other day, part of the yellow flash thing. I called him can we say just whatever on your channel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I called him a slimy fuck one day. You know, I called him out there, and he's made jokes about it. He was like, "Ah, that's hilarious." He said some funny stuff. I mean, it was good, and I had an exchange with Weaponized Nerd Rage. The funniest thing. I mean, it was he took shots at me, I took shots at him. It was over, you know. But professionals, they need to be above this kind of mess. They need to be above it. They need to be able to talk about things, to set down, because at the end of the day, what happens if they don't? They weaponize their fandoms.
Mm-hmm. I see
exactly.
Warren in the chat said, England Teen said in a stream, it feels like we've replaced Marvel and DC with Indiegogo. Does he really equate EVS and other CG creators with that kind of consumer mistreatment? Plus, nobody can keep anyone out of Indiegogo. I mean, anyone can join. If that's our, you know, our publisher, it's not really a publisher, but if that's our company, anyone can join. So, you know, nobody's gatekeeping Indiegogo. You can.
Well, there's a grievance there. There's some kind of disagreement. I wish there was a way to platform that, to have a discussion, and to iron it out. Because, like I said, you know, Englanding, I disagree with some stuff he says there. I agree with some stuff he says there. You know, one day I'm going to get on there and actually stream with him. We'll talk about it and on. I'm not. One thing I hate are like 8 people panels, so I usually avoid them totally. So. You know, but I'll probably sit down one day. And Weaponize is another good person about that. You know, Weaponize Nerd Rage too, to give him total credit. The guy does a lot of making sure that people calm down. Like, he's one of the few people that can calm my ass down when I get going online. But you know, so these community people are important. I spent a long time trying to explain that YouTubers are, whether it's a small faction of consumers or whether it's a lot, YouTubers are still, they're a voice of consumers. They weren't selling any wares. The only ware that they sell is their voice and their opinion. So yeah, you've got to listen to them, even if they're totally wrong, you know, convince them otherwise.
Yeah, and I mean, here's my take on it too. I mean, even right now, being on the talking to you, Tug, I'm starstruck because I never thought that day would come. I was on England Team stream just last night, just what, 4 hours ago. I was starstruck. I never thought anything like that would happen. But that's because I've been busting my behind, building up my brand, getting people's attention, and getting people's attention the right way, trying to be positive, trying to be informative. I got people like, I talk to Doug Ernst every now and then. And I mean, he's a journalist. I went to school for journalism, got my associate's degree, didn't get my bachelor's, but that's a different story. And he's been counseling me and teaching me tricks of the trade. And like I even said to John Miller before in Super Chats, I said to Mike S. Miller on Twitter, I said to Doug Tenaple on Twitter, if you could teach me something, teach me. I want to learn. I want to get all the skills and knowledge I can. I said to EVS on Twitter, And the conversations I had with him is like maybe 2 tweets, maybe like 10 words long. That was it. About, show whatever you can teach me, whatever, show me the way. I'm here to learn. Then you got people who are here to just fanboy, fangirl, and cause trouble, cause confusion, and you sit there. It's just you get tired of repeating yourself about why you're here for, what you're here to do, because you got all these hateful people that want to run back like, no, 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 they mean this, they mean that, and it's like, where are you getting this from?
You build your own audience, though. See, that's the thing. You unfortunately you do have to repeat yourself. Like I have no idea how many times I've repeated the same standard. I mean, we repeated the same standard. If you think about it, how many times do we have to say the same thing to Marvel? They still haven't heard us. So people are, as a professional, as somebody that offers something, regardless of what that is, you throw it out there, and you will build up people that do understand that, and you'll get better at articulating, your point, because there's a there's a lot of nuance, and we're used to seeing enemies. That's the thing too. We are used to seeing bad guys out there because, by and large, as a movement, I mean, there are a bunch of us, but we're looking at billion-dollar corporate entities that have plenty of players under their umbrella. Pardon the wording there, but they, God knows what they allow. We've seen CCOs, we've seen CFOs, and people get very defensive about that. So, making people understand that anyone that talks about something that is not right in one line, that doesn't necessarily make them the enemy. It means that they have a different nuance to their opinion. Props to Doug Ernst, by the way, too. Doug Ernst has done a lot for people as well. I want to one thing on this. I don't mean to hog the talk time. I want to say that when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm not trying to choose sides between an EVS, a Tim Lim, all of these people. I've gotten along with them. The thing is that there is a level of insanity that there's a level of miscommunication that is leading to some dubious bullshit. I mean, when you get down to the communicating with Kiwi Farms and the glove stuff, I mean, what is the end game to that? It's not healthy. If you get to that point, pull away, pull away, go take a few days, think about what you're doing, come back and think about, what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to sell comic books or you want to do that, will your audience respond to the way you've done it? Now, again, I'm not saying that to a friend. I've never talked shit about people. If I considered somebody my friend and there was something in the moment, I've talked shit about a few people. I'm sure that, when these people, that's the ugliest thing about leaking DMs and shit like that too. If someone considered you your friend, you may have said something, at one time. Like I said, I've had my out with I Love Comics. I had a debate with, or rather an argument with Weaponized Nerd Rage. In that moment, I may have talked shit about something, and you have people are out there that are dumping this stuff and causing trouble. Those are the people that are a problem.
Exactly. And I mean, I've gone on record several times saying that you seen the tweets, Tug. Like, I respect you guys like uncles, big brothers, and even dads. Like, I've talking about it several times. I have to keep talking about it, like you said. Like, I had a very crappy childhood, and it was IPs from people like Doug Tenaple, who I'm glad to know right now, who I'm glad to be able to communicate with, who got me through that tough childhood. I would never be hateful or jealous of Doug Tenaple. I could never. Van Sciver is drawing some of the most beautiful DC covers I have seen in my life. I admire his work. I'm not going to kiss his ring like his fanboys, but I admire his work and I respect him. I would never say anything bad or hateful about EVS or John Millen or Mike Ismail or anybody. And it's like, we're all here to talk about comics. We're all here to talk about the consumer. We're all here to show people that you could be better, that you could treat these consumers with better attitude, sell your products. Because one thing I said on England Team's show last night was, you could have to be all honesty, you could have the most mundane, boring comic book, cartoon project, or whatever it is, because your overall attitude to the consumer is genuine and beautiful and crisp and pristine, people will buy your product just because of the way you treat other people. They will want to get to know you, get close to you because of how you carry yourself. It's all about the consumer first. There's nothing wrong with selling books, nothing wrong with Indiegogo's. But once you treat that consumer like a friend, like a loved one, like a neighbor, like family, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, you got them hook, line, and sinker. They can sit there like, you know what, this is a boring book, but I like the person behind this so much that I'm going to support them no matter what because they're a beautiful person. And like you always talk about with Edwin, it's treating the consumers like gold, being lovely to people, being nice to people, and being humble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you earn that dollar. I mean, that's it's something that almost every other industry gets, but somehow people are forgetting. And I think the atmosphere that is around comic books right now that we've seen, I think it makes it easy for people coming in to forget that too. And you have to respect. You have to respect like the consumer in everything. And again, if you come to the point where where you're promoting an idea like separate the art from the artist, okay, if you start promoting those kind of ideas, think about the absurdity of that. Separate, I've been saying a lot, separate the plumber from the plumbing. Has anyone ever told you that? Because they never fucking told me that. But
Never told me that.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you had that standard in another industry, you would laugh it out of the room. But apparently some people think they can act wrong, basically.
Artists are, delicate geniuses. We have to
Yeah,
respect them.
people are making sequential art stories. Nothing to insult that. I've spent a fortune on that stuff, but what is it? I mean, are we curing cancer?
Well, I mean, we can make it better. I mean, as a storyteller, it's proof that you can make somebody's life better by the stories you tell. I mean, how many movies have you watched that just touched your heart, that had you laugh, made you cry, made you think? How many books have you read that just pulled at your heartstrings? I could name several. And
not many by Marvel and DC lately.
I mean, yeah. Well, one point in time, like for instance, Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis. That was the end of that was done beautifully with the two Superman Earth 1, Earth 2, and Superboy Prime. That was an emotional moment. The death of Superman back in the day, that was emotional. Final Crisis, when that whole thing where they thought Batman was dead, that was emotional. Batman Ripped. I brought every issue of Batman Ripped. That was an emotional story. Civil War 1 and Marvel, that was emotional. I mean, you touch people's lives in their hearts and their souls by the stories you tell and the visuals you do. And then when you go to thank these people or whatever the case may be, thank them or ask them, why did you change this or why did you change that? And they're basically saying, screw off, your opinion doesn't matter. You're going to lose customers. You're going to lose readers. You're going to lose a fan base. Just like how the situation with me and Max Visaggio, when I straight up told her, I like Kim and Kim. I think you're a wonderful person. No matter what anybody says, I admire you. And she's like, oh, you with Richard C. Meyer. Oh, you with EVS. F off. You're part of the problem. Like, I mean, it's gotten to the point where I joke about it now. Like, I even joked about it on England Team's channel yesterday. Like, look, it is what it is. I told her, thank you for your book. She read me the Riot Act. And now I see what people are talking about. And that just teaches me to be better no matter what. If somebody has a grievance with my work, okay, I apologize. I'm sorry you didn't like it. Hopefully you'll like it later down the line, or I try to improve A, B, and C. Or just be nice to people in general to keep them coming back. If they have a grievance, if they have a compliment, whatever. And maybe Max was having a bad day. Maybe she was just waking up, whatever. I don't know.
She's like that all the time. Trust us.
No, I learned that. I saw that with Donald DeLay. It is very rare these days, though, that you actually experience professionalism. Donald DeLay, our first run-in with him is like I say, Yellow Flash did a review of his comic book, and he Justin Jordan, the writer on it, has come out very much so as Blockbotter and on. Well, after the run-in, Donald DeLay saw, this review where the comic gets destroyed, and his response was, "Well, hey, thanks for buying that comic. I'll do better next time. Maybe you should check out something that I've done lately because it's a little old. Maybe you'll like my style there." And it was like, holy crap, is that guy actually, being professional? It shouldn't astound people when you act like that. Or like Malin. I bought Malin books. This boggles my mind when I say this. I bought Malin books because he said, "Hey, anybody can come over here and anybody is welcome to talk." I mean, what kind of baseline is that? That should be normal. If that's not a norm within an industry, then we have a problem.
Exactly. And that's like you said, it's all good customer service. Like what Donald DeLay did, he saw a video of his book getting destroyed and he handled it professionally. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. I mean, my whole thing is just like how the people they would say, "Oh, England team, you're just jealous because you don't have a comic book. That's why you're talking down about what EVS is doing." Okay, let's come to a compromise here. Let's just say Comicsgate remains about good customer service and people selling an alternative to DC and Marvel. That should be the main two, only two. But now you got these people who one side say, "Oh, it's about the customers," and you got these other people, "Oh no, it's about new creators doing better books than DC and Marvel. Hey, come buy my book." And then you got the fans and whoever in the middle egging it on. "Oh, you see what so and so said? Oh, you see what so and so said?" And I seen it last night on England Team Stream, being on the panel. I seen it this morning, being in the audience on EVS's stream. Like people, matter of fact, people just need to come together. And maybe, I know you hate big streams, Tug. Maybe certain leaders, like maybe like EVS, England Team, Doug Ernst, maybe even Captain Cummings, if people could get him to talk, and a couple other people go on the stream, explain to the fan base what Comicsgate is supposed to be, what it stands for, what people are here for, and get everybody undivided, because there's a lot of division. There's a lot of people in people's DMs saying the wrong things. There's a lot of people stirring up drama, making stupid threats, like the video I had to make yesterday when I was at work, how you and Edwin were talking about people in the DMs will tell EVS to do this or tell so-and-so to do this, so we're not going to back your books. That's the same thing that Mark Waid did to Richard C. Meyer. Mm-hmm. Basically, why are you resorting to tactics like that?
People also, I think, misunderstand the whole. They're choosing sides between it was the Nurkish server versus what EVS said. Okay, if I had a problem, well, I would say, okay, if I have a problem with Marsupial Gamer, and say he had something hosted, I thought it was damaging to me, I would hope, as just a person, that's talked to him a few times, I would hope that I could come there and say, hey, this isn't, I don't think this has a good optic, maybe you should not be associated with it. Maybe, it'll cause problems for you. It could cause problems for me. I can't be associated with that, and you would hope there could be a discussion there. I think people are taking discussion as ultimatum. Now, I saw at least, I don't know if there was more conversation. I've not seen any proof of that. So I'm going off of just the one thing that I was privy to. It was not ugly. Both sides disagreed on stuff. They disagreed in the same way I might disagree with some of my friends. There was this exchange that where EVS is saying, just like I said there, I think this could be bad. And hey, these people are out to get you. They're out to get me. They will try to blame this on me. And Nurkish responded with, I believe in free speech. I'm not even associated with that thing. So, I mean, you have a back and forth. People, they may have not wanted to hear what was there, but I didn't think it went so bad. So I'm wondering, like, what's the problem here? Why are things so out of control? Now, I do know that other creators have had their disagreements there. Like I know Tim has had a disagreement with Ethan, and that stuff. It was just it went a strange way within that. And then there have been other elements that have come in, but I don't know. I I would hope, again, like you're talking about, if I go in and talk to I Love Comics, now at the end of the day, if he and I disagree, I wouldn't go and try to weaponize everyone that listens to me to fuck up his stuff. That would not be that would be absurd to think about. But that, unless there's more out there, that's how this stuff feels. It feels like a disagreement with people you thought were friends, and you know things went things went belly up. But again, maybe I'm not privy to the whole conversation there. I'm not even claiming I should be. It just I'm frustrated seeing this stuff.
Mhm.
I really want more from folks out there. I kind of, I don't even want more. I kind of feel like we should demand more from folks out there. But at the same time, if people want to separate and walk away, we should respect that too.
I actually did. I sent a tweet, I don't know, several weeks ago to Donald DeLay that
Mhm.
was very salty and ultimately inappropriate. It wasn't directed towards him; it was directed towards someone else, but it was in response to him. I immediately got got a message from Zach actually saying, "Take that down, please. That's not. Yeah, don't do that." And he went on to explain why, but he didn't even have to. I immediately I was like, Yeah, yeah, definitely." And I immediately deleted it. So it was only up for like maybe 10 seconds at the
Mhm.
most. And I realized, I was like, yeah, I was really upset, and I said something that would end up being attached to Comicsgate that I did not want to be attached to that. And I didn't want it attached to me either, but it was absolutely. And luckily he called me out on it just right away, and I deleted it. I'm a big proponent of free speech, and that's fine if anyone wants to say whatever they want, but you don't have to associate with it. And I want to be associated with Comicsgate, and I don't want to be a bad. I don't want people to say, "Oh, that guy's in Comicsgate, therefore everybody is X." So yeah, I don't want to be a bad influencer. I don't want to be a something that people can point to and say that's why they're bad.
But see, you can be, I mean, you can be a pissed off consumer. I mean, it's good that you can be calmed down, but there are a lot of us, we got here because
Yeah,
we were pissed off consumers. So I think,
sure. I made it bad.
positively, Donald can take that criticism too. I mean, that's a good thing about him. In fact, that was one of the things that I was really impressed by. Let me, you got a few new people. They keep doing, "Hey
Yeah.
there." So I forgot I didn't even do that today.
Thank you.
If
We
you
appreciate
make a
that.
catchphrase unintentionally or on, make it easy. Make it one that you can say a
I
lot.
know. I've been trying to think of it, and I was like, I don't know, ahoy. I don't. Ahoy.
Oh yeah, like I said, this is a starstruck moment, Tug, and I do appreciate this. I really do. Just like England team yesterday, I said this is a starstruck moment. I am so happy to be here because this is how it should be. And the suggestion I would make, and it's totally up to the main people at the top, but maybe it would be because they talk a lot about a Comicsgate comic convention one day. Maybe it would be nice if,
Yeah.
and this is just an idea. You got EVS now. Just the certain main people. You got EVS together with like yourself, Tug, and England Teen, and maybe Weaponized Nerd Rage, Captain Cummings, or maybe even a Tim Lim or somebody. Everybody get on the panel together on the live stream, and they explain to the fan base, this is what Comicsgate is about. This is this is what Comicsgate is about. This is what we're here for. We here for good customer service. And some of us are here to give you an alternative to the big two that have failed us. Just stop the infighting, stop the arguing, the trolling. If you run into problems with people like Infamous or those the anti-comics gators who want to troll you, attack you, whatever. Like EVS even said in the tweet like a couple of days ago, he said, ignore, block, keep it moving. Just like when he made that post about, I'm gonna keep my Twitter feed drama free. No more arguing, no more fighting. They just maybe a bunch of the leaders in Comicsgate, maybe even like Doug Ernst or somebody, come out, tell people stop fighting, stop arguing. If the trolls and anti-Comicsgaters come at you, block, ignore, keep it moving. There's no shame in blocking somebody who's harassing you instead of arguing with them, and focus on the core aspect of Comicsgate.
I used to never block people. That was probably one of my issues. You know, it was oh, okay, I'll see what's going on, because you give people the benefit of the doubt. And I would even say that on specific, if you don't like a creator, you know, sooner or later you're going to run into a creator that you don't like. That is inevitable. It is, you know. I would love to pretend that's not going to happen, but sooner or later you will find that creator you don't mesh with. There are it leaking out in public and blowing up. That's where it goes wrong. And you know, I've not been above that. You know, like I say, I had a very big blowout with somebody the other day. I'm not going to bring up their name because I'm not trying to stoke that fire. In fact, you know, looking back on that, was there an issue there? Yeah, you know, there are still issues there. It's unrepairable there. You know, there's no way to fix that, because you know it's just a agree to disagree moment. But it should not make its way into the public. That's one of the things I want to. It's bad I'm talking about professionalism like this too, because I'm not offering you a product. I'm going to end up making a comic book. In fact, probably two of them, just to enjoy it, because all of the old school creators, that's what they talked about forever. You know, we've always loved comics. We've always been involved with them. So this is an awesome thing. We can do that. We do it for the love of, you know, and I, but within that, before even in acknowledging that, it's bad that some YouTubers are showing more professionalism than some creators when attached to a movement that is talking about better products and, you know, not being an unpro. I like to just call them unpros. So don't be an unpro. And you know, some people, they want to associate with this grouping. They want to make money off of it, but at its baseline, they're not inherently agreeing with the stuff there. I understand too, like you're talking about starstruckness. I remember when I started up all this stuff, man. When I first started live streaming, you know, it's like, oh my god, I think the day I sat down and I interviewed Chuck Dixon, I thought, holy crap, this is insane. In fact, I look back at that and I think of how nervous it made me. It was kind of awesome. But meeting all of these folks like Ernst Cummings, you know, I look back at all these names and man, I hate all this division, because
Mm-hmm.
I like Captain Cummings. Like he was
Yeah.
always cool with me. Doug Ernst always cool with me. These people have never done anything negative to me at all.
Nope. And I could speak testimonies about Doug Ernst too. I mean, I spoke to him in private about, I mean, you're a journalist. I was going to school for journalism at one point in time. What can you teach me? I mean, what, you know, advice could you give me to build up my platform to do A, B, and C? And he literally came to me one night and had a nice long conversation in DMs, longer than what I expected it to be, about the industry, about being a journalist, about how to get jobs in journalism, about building your platform. And I was like, sir, I've never expected somebody like you even pay me the time of day. I highly appreciate that. And people like that, they're willing to help people build up their platform. And I highly appreciate that. And then you got people like that sit there and talk negatively about it, like, no, you don't understand. These people are nicer than what you think. They're here to help you. They're here to teach you whatever you want them to teach you, as long as you come to them the proper way, as long as you ask them. I'm pretty sure the same thing with Mike S. Miller and EVS and Mellon and all of them. If you come to them a certain way and be like, look, I need your help, I need your advice. What can you teach me about the industry so I can be better? They got no problem sitting you down and teaching you. You know, but people come to them the wrong way.
Well, I was, you know, just like most people, I think I used to, you know, put people on a pedestal, put, you know, actors and things like that on a pedestal. And then when I started to really get into Twitter, I tweeted one time at, what's his name? Shut up, Wesley. Will
Oh
Wheaton.
yeah.
Yeah, Will Wheaton, and he replied to me, and I was like floored. I was like, "Oh my God, I love him," and you know, I can't believe he actually replied. And then I found out what he's really like,
Mhm.
and honestly, yeah, I no longer have that feeling, when it
Mhm.
comes to anyone really. I have no problem talking to anyone.
I think that's
Um,
the I think that's the downside to to social media with comic books.
mhm.
I felt the same way. I don't know if I had a hero worship necessarily, but or placing people on a pedestal or whatever. But still, if you've grown up with comic books, the people, those names on it,
Yeah.
I mean, they're the people who create superheroes. Then, my second day on Twitter, I ended up on a block bot because I followed the wrong person. When I asked about it, I had my questions screenshot, and the response there was because you're a Nazi POS, and I had people like Dan Slott liking it, and I thought, what a piece of crap, what a
Yeah.
piece of crap. And then I've had two interactions with Mark Wade, and they were so utterly negative. And it was crazy to me because I was sitting here buying Irredeemable. I love that freaking book. It's great. I don't regret buying it or anything else, but I bought Irredeemable deluxe editions. I'm sitting here buying them. I bought them that day, and then this asshole is treating me like garbage that's on there. And the response from the industry or even them is, this isn't my professional account, it's my personal account. Okay, well, what the fuck is the difference? See, there's the problem in all of this dynamic. There's no accountability, and we on this side, we have to be better if you really want to build up something new. You have to be better, and you're going to get assholes out there in the crowd. You're going to get them. There are always people like that in the crowd. There are people that just hope that you give them a negative reaction. There's still pros out there that understand this too. Donnie Cates, I've had good interactions with. Now I probably won't ever buy a Donnie Cates book again because, he's out there supporting Mark Wade with, giving contributions to something that pretty much says, fuck people like myself. But as far as interactions go with a pro, I mean, he's actually at least understands that.
Well, I remember when you first started your channel, Tug, you were saying you were spending hundreds of dollars a month on
Yeah,
comics
250 a
every
week.
month.
250 a week. That's
Oh,
yep.
250 a week.
Yeah, 250 a week. It's my baseline. Like
Yeah.
you can go in. What I would spend is it would go between 100 for singles, and it would even out on the other side for trades, and it continued that month after month. I just sometimes it would go over, but that would be my baseline for the month. And
What are you
it
down
was
to
always
now?
that way.
Nothing.
I mean, yeah, that's basically around the same thing I would do too. Talking about the block bots and everything. Like I had that interaction with Passaggio. I don't got
Mhm.
a block. Max Passaggio doesn't have me blocked. I didn't block her, and it was funny because 2 weeks after that, encounter I had with her, she actually liked one of my posts. It was like I seen this picture. It was like right before the elections and everything. Somebody that had a picture of this politician in the background. It was this guy who I swore looked like Richard C. Meyer, but like at 50, 60 something years old. So like I had retweeted the picture. I say, yo, this is like your boy Zach at like 65 or something. Look at him. And I wake up the next day and Max Visaggio liked my post. I'm like, oh, so you're watching my page. Okay. All right, I understand now. But I don't got her blocked. She doesn't have me blocked. And I even told her, I said, I mean, I'm sorry you feel that I'm part of a hate group, but I'm still going to buy a book. I still support you and believe in you. And, I hope we could look past this one day. Like, I kept it professional and respectful to the end. Where some people would have just said, you know what, forget her, block her. Some people said, yeah, why don't you just block her? Why don't you curse her out? No, for what? I still like her work and I understand what she's going through. I just want her to know that not everybody is out to get her, out to attack her.
Hey, actually, I just saw that, Mike. Thank you very much. I just want to say, since I started my channel, I just got my first super chat ever.
That's beautiful. That's
And
beautiful.
it was actually I got to get this up on, well, I'm not on OBS right now. It's actually through Streamlabs. So Mike, uh, let's see, Mike Parlett,
Mike
$20. More money
Parletti,
for
what's up? The
oh,
pinball wizard himself, man.
sorry,
Hey, Mike's
Parletti.
a
Yeah,
solid guy, by the way. Solid dude.
awesome. Thank you so much. Says more money for super chats. So I don't even have enough subscribers to get a super chat. Super chat. So thank you, my first donation ever.
It feels
That's
awesome
beautiful.
to have people support your channel, it's holy crap, you know, those first times. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, you know, I am shamelessly piggybacking off of Ethan's show, but you know what? We're gonna do this every day. John Wallace and I are gonna be doing this every day, hopefully 7 days a week, whenever we can.
I
And
would I would recommend too doing like at least like a short video, 5 to 10 minutes.
yeah,
Periodically drop those suckers in there. I hate to say,
yeah,
like I know people hate drama, but you know what? Channels build on and drama doesn't necessarily mean look at these people acting like fools. It can be a reaction to it, like hey, like what we're talking about right now. Hey, be a fucking professional.
yeah.
That's still drama. It's a reaction to
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've been trying to. Well, it's funny you should say that as far as like going off drama. I made like the last video, and I got to get better at this. It just has been taking me so long to put together videos, and I guess maybe if I just didn't made them shorter, my last one I think was about 20 minutes. And I was actually praising Blizzard for their response after they had they released a mobile game at BlizzCon this year, which people were very, very upset about. But their response the next day was like, "We understand our customers are passionate. We totally agree with them, and don't worry, we're coming out with new." They did not attack anyone, and so I made this very positive video saying, "You know what? They did the right thing. They said, look, guys, we're sorry. We'll do better, and we're working on other stuff." And I got so many downvotes. I was like, what? So, and then of course there's all these videos out there just, ripping on Blizzard for their mistake, getting tons and tons of upvotes. And I'm like, man, I guess I better step up the drama. I was actually
Like,
pretty.
I mean, you have your own opinion on everything. I mean, we all have we just you you can't over time also wins out discussions. I mean, when you've seen, for example, how some of the channels have been impacted by having their own opinions in Comicsgate. I mean, you've seen that, and well, I say they're right or wrong. No, I'm not going on that, but they had their own opinions. They had their own, approaches and on. And, does that mean they need to go and, cultivate an audience on something they don't believe in? Hell no. I mean, if you have an opinion, you like that, and then you'll find your audience that way eventually.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to, manufacture a fake opinion if I feel like praising a company or a creator or something for doing the right thing, I'll do it. So
Yeah, exactly. Just like it's funny how you speak about the drama thing. Just like the video I made about She-Ra, all the controversy behind the new She-Ra cartoon on Netflix, and I made a video about how even just like with DC and Marvel, the creators on the new She-Ra show, they attacked the fans of the '80s show, and I made a video about them, how the original shows, if it wasn't for the original shows, they wouldn't have the new one, and how they shouldn't be disrespectful like that.
I've got to go. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to do that, but I've got to go. I got somebody ringing the doorbell. I got to go see what the heck that is.
all right,
I'll see
thanks,
you
Doug.
later. I appreciate the add-on, man. When you're doing this stuff, just invite me on periodically. I'll pop in.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you so much, sir.
See ya. All right. Well,
I figured that was his doorbell because I did hear somebody's doorbell in the back.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I did hear it. That was awesome though. See, it's stuff like that I like because we got to keep building these communities and coming together as a family. Like I've always considered this a family when I first started talking about Comicsgate stuff. I see it as one big family, and there's so many people trying to divide this family. And the thing with Cecil, Nurkish, and Tim Lim. Now, I don't have anything against Tim Lim. I don't have anything against Nurkish. And I damn sure don't have anything against Cecil. But to see all these people divided amongst each other, and now it's like they're trying to, because Miss Sashi is still friends with Nurkish. People are trying to say, oh, Cecil should be mad at Sashi, blah, blah, blah. And people were sending Ethan DMs about, look what Sashi's saying, look what she's doing. He's the enemy. Sashi does a show with Antonio Bryce. Antonio Bryce is one of Ethan's closest friends in the Comics Gate circle. So why are you trying to sit there and divide 4 or 5 people against each other? And that's what pissed me off because
Yeah.
all these people are friends with each other, and you're trying to divide them because oh, look what Nurkish and Tim Lim did to Cecil, and Sashi's friends with Nurkish still, so screw her. But then
Hmm.
again, Sashi has a show with Antonio Bryce, so you should say screw him too. No, stop it. Just stop it. This is a family. This is a community of beautiful people that
Hmm.
we're putting up with a whole lot of garbage. Even smaller channels like me and you putting up with a whole lot of hate, a whole lot of anger and garbage over something that you're trying to build because it's like people feed off of drama like rats in an abandoned warehouse,
Hmm.
and it's got to stop.
Yeah, and I saw when Tim did his tweet where he was saying he was out of cash grab, that he included a bunch of names in there, and I'm like, and one of them was Sashi. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take that to mean that he speaks for those people. Um, I don't know why he's doing that. I don't know why he's number one announcing that so publicly, but also including other people that, as far as I could tell, did not say, "Yeah, make sure to include me in that," or I'm not gonna I'm not gonna condemn someone. It's freedom of association. I'm not gonna just group people together just because they're friends, or say, okay, just because, yeah, these people hang out together or retweet each other, that they agree on everything. Because I know I don't agree on everything that everyone says that I retweet, or that I, watch their show or whatever. So yeah, there's no need to go out and attack Sashi. And I mean, she's been nothing but nice to me. Well, I should say she's been, horribly abusive to me, but in a nice way.
I
only
mean,
only just only because that's the way she is, and I love it. So she's
I mean, the
she's
hell?
very sarcastic, and I love that about her. So
I mean, she's good people. She's
yeah,
damn good people, and I mean, she does good art. She does a lot of art for the comics geek community, and she's one of the like her Mecha Random 42, Nerd Wonder, Geeky Sparkles from Clownfish TV.
I,
These are females in the community
if
who they're strong. They have great opinions on stuff. They're funny. They're good people to be around. Good people to learn stuff from. So I mean, everybody likes them.
well, if
But
anyone tells me I have to denounce your Nerd Wonder, or who's Lola Meets, or Captain Frugal, they can just, they can screw
never gonna happen.
themselves.
Never
Never
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen. Your Nerd
Exactly. Just,
Wonder
just like
is fantastic.
just like how you got people who say negative things about Captain Cummings, and I don't see why. Captain Cummings is a good guy. It's just that it got to a
Yeah.
point where all this comic gate stuff started to, I guess it started to wear and tear on him. So he backed away and said, I'm just going to watch from the sidelines. And,
Mm,
and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for watching from the sidelines. Clownfish TV, Neon and Geeky, they said, we got armchair observation. We're not part of Comics Gate. We're not against Comics Gate. We're just going to watch from the sidelines. And they do. And I respect that.
mhm,
But even then, the sad thing about it is, even then, even though they're watching from the sidelines, they're catching a whole lot of unnecessary hate for no freaking reason,
mhm.
and it's not fair.
Well, yeah, and we briefly spoke about. I'm not entirely sure. I was actually going to potentially ask Tug if he had time, but I figured he wouldn't. About what happened with Captain Cummings, because it was basically. I'm trying to remember. Gosh, this is such a long time ago. Um, but basically, what was it? I guess they were hanging out on a live stream, maybe. The way that it was described to me, it sounded like it was in person, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, but I feel like they just had a disagreement. I think it was something about feeling that, yeah, I know it was about gatekeeping. They basically had a disagreement about EVS, and I guess him choosing who would be on his show. And yeah, I mean, they just had this big falling out where I think it, just like most things, it just boils down to lack of communication. And they just didn't communicate. And EVS was saying, you know, come on my show, we'll hash it out, we'll figure it out, or we can talk about it offline, whatever you want to do. They just did not, I guess Captain Cummings did not want to do that. And yeah, I mean, I think Ethan handled it the best he could and just kind of dropped it eventually, which is fine. And Captain Cummings, I believe, went out of town or had to, yeah, had to go do something for a couple of months. And when he came back, he's basically like, okay, I'm not going to do comics anymore. I'm not going to talk about comics. So that's cool. I mean, if that's what it takes to, you know, let him be happy doing his own show and not getting upset with people and not, you know, having fights, then that's fine. I still watch his show whenever he does a live stream, and he's smart and funny, and I enjoy him. And I'm not going to take sides. I don't think there's any need to take sides.
Yeah, and then the thing with Captain Cummings, he doesn't even take sides. He, excuse me, he doesn't take sides himself. He sits there and he gives his opinion. People like one of his live streams. People asked him about the Nurkic, Cecil, and Tim Lim thing, and Captain Cummings said, "Well, I mean, I mean, they shouldn't have did it publicly, but if they had a good reason to not want to work with them no more, that's up to them." And then somebody said, "Oh, but they did it in public," and Captain Cummings said, "Well, maybe they tried to reach them in private and they couldn't, so they put it out there in public. I don't know. I mean, that's between them." And like that, I mean, that's him giving his opinion but not taking the side. And it's like you can't even do that these days because people are like, oh, uh, Geeky Sparkles and Neon from Clownfish say it best. Even if you tell these people, oh, I'm in the middle, I'm not on nobody's side, I'm just watching what's going on, they say, oh, well, if you're not on our side, you're against us. So it doesn't matter. They're going to come after you anyway. And I think Tug is 100% right what he said about everybody being a target because it's like they went after Web's channel. They went after Yellow Flash's channel. They went after Just Some Guy's channel. They went after Tug's channel.
What
They
was that first
did
one?
Weaponized Nerve Rage.
Oh, did he get a strike too? I think I missed
I
that.
believe I believe something happened with his channel a while back where they tried to take it down, but they failed. But they went after his channel before. They went after Just Some Guy's channel, Yellow Flash's channel, Tug's channel, and now they hit EVS's channel. So it's like they're systematically coming after everybody who is either Comics Gate or who is either against anti-Comics Gate or talks about Comics Gate or anti-Comics Gate in some shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, most of those channels are monetized, or not all of them are monetized. So it's like, oh, you got a monetized channel and you're talking about Comics Gate or anti-Comics Gate, boom, we're gonna hit you with all these false flags and stuff. But
Yeah.
the channels who aren't monetized, they can't touch them. Like somebody like me, I could talk about anti-Comics Gate and Comics Gate till the birds get up in the morning, and they can't do nothing to me because I'm not monetized. You know, they could report my channel. Oh, well, it's not going to do anything. I'm not monetized, so
Yeah.
you're not taking anything out of my pocket. But if I was monetized, I guarantee you, I'd probably be on that list of big people to attack too. But that's how it
Yeah.
is. Like it's sad to think that they're doing it that way, but like Tug said, that's what it seems like.
Well, unfortunately, I would love to monetize. That's yeah, that's you know, part of what I want to do here, and I definitely want to build up this channel and yeah, put in the work necessary to get people interested, and then I'm sure I'll get hit with a community guideline strike eventually. So
I mean,
looking
then
forward
again,
to it.
I don't want to say I don't know. It depends on how you carry yourself because all these people carry themselves. You know, they carry themselves the way they carry themselves. They're not really disrespectful to anybody. And I mean, criticizing the comic book and then tearing it up or stabbing a knife through it. First off, you paid money for that comic book. You know, you brought that out your own money. So whatever you do with that comic book is your decision. If Marvel and DC is mad at people for reviewing their comics on camera and then tearing them up or throwing them away or burning them or throwing them out the window, You paid your money for that comic book already. So what that person does with it should not be a problem. If
Yeah, but
I go ahead.
Yellow Flash dares to stab a comic. Oh my gosh, it's violence against paper.
Yeah, thank you. Violence against paper. I mean, be that the case, then McDonald's should have a Me Too strike against Gail Simone or something. I mean, I don't know. If we're gonna sit there and talk about my fifis are hurt, violence against such and such. I mean, every fat person in America that picks out at Wendy's should have a Me Too strike against them. I mean, come on, it's stupid. No,
Yeah.
if you paid your money for it and you review it and you don't like it, good or bad, one, Marvel and DC are still getting their money because you paid for it. And two, even though it's negative publicity, there might be somebody that likes that type of stuff that will still go out there. Just like a lot of people criticize Max Versaggio's work, and a lot of people says it's garbage. I think Kim and Kim is okay. I would still buy it. I would still read it, even though Mags told me to go F myself. I would still buy Kim and Kim. I told her that I'm gonna still buy your book. I'm still read it. I still respect you. You know, even though she read me the riot act for subscribing to EVS's channel. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. But the thing is, if I'm spending my hard-earned money, and my money is hard-earned, if I'm spending my hard-earned money to buy a product from you people, what I do with that product should be my business. It should not hurt your feelings. Just like when I start writing books, if somebody buys my book and they don't like it, you want to sit there, throw it in the lake, throw it in the sun, throw it at the moon. Hey, look, do whatever you want with it. And if you come to me with a grievance, I'm sorry you didn't like it. I'll do my best to try to give you stories that you like. You know, I'm glad we had this conversation. Glad you took time to look at it, and thank you. And hopefully you like my stuff later down the line. And leave it like that. Leave it like that. But see, people, people just in this movement, and this is where it's worse than Gamergate. People in Comicsgate have digressed to being teenagers again. You know, it's what I said. It's when I did that video about the whole wrestling stable mentality. You have a lot of people, not EVS, not Miller, not Millen, not Doug Tenaple. You have a lot of people, the fans and the trolls, who are treating this like a wrestling stable or like some type of fad or faction. Comicsgate is not a wrestling stable. It's not a fad. It's not a faction of people kicking ass and taking names. It's a movement to give better customer service and tell apolitical, nonpartisan stories. That's what Comicsgate is. But you got all these fanboys, the ones saying, "Oh, Ethan Van Sciver's the God King," or Doug Tenaple's the Emperor of the Sun. All these weird behind fanboys who feel that they need to worship these men like gods to get their respect, who are turning this into a faction, a hate group, a mob, and a group of people who take ass and who kick ass and take names, and or like Drax said on Infinity War, take ass and kick names or whatever the case may be. I mean, but you got people who are going about this with the wrong mentality, and they shouldn't. You know, it's about respecting customers and reading good stories.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the thing is, I think a lot of the people in Gamergate were teenagers, but
Yeah, Sam.
but yeah, I mean, this is a professional, creator-driven um, movement, and yeah, people need to like hate to say grow up, but grow back up. Like I know these people were professional like a year ago, a month ago, a few weeks ago, and so I think it's too easy to get sucked into that drama, and you just gotta get that out of your mind. Remember, the point is selling comic books. The point is
Yeah,
getting as many customers as you can and making great books.
exactly. I mean, that's all people want. They want the SJW soy-based politics taking out the escapism stories, and I highly respect that. And even books that I don't necessarily agree with that I've read, like Blue Mamba, I don't. It's okay. I find it to be an okay story. It's not something that I'll write home about, and I'm not too big on Cyber Frog, but I respect and support Ethan Van Sciver. Maybe I like Rainbow Root and Lone Star. I have nothing against Mike Miller. You know, I mean, he's cool. He's a Christian. a God-fearing man. I respect and love Mike S. Miller, but Lone Star is not for me. Now, am I going to bash his book? Hell no. It's his baby. It's just not for me. Am I going to bash Blue Mamba? No. I disagree with the story, and I think it's a little bit too fan servicey. But hey, I mean, you're making money. God bless you. Good for you. It's not for me, but I'm not going to bash it. But I'm gonna support what you like. Comicsgate should be about support what you like. Even if there's some people that read Comicsgate books that still read DC and Marvel books, no matter how bad they are, because they like these characters and they're supporting what they love. I mean, I read Red Sonja from Dynamite. I read Rainbow Bright. I'm supporting what I love. And there's a few DC Marvel books from back in the day I would probably go out and rebuy or buy again and still read, but that's from back in the day. Nothing now, but that's my prerogative. Support what you love. And from the fan side, stop the trolling, stop the hate mobbing. Stop getting upset because you can't get on EVS's show for 10 seconds to tell Cecil how sexy you think he is. You just stop it. It's petty, it's childish, it's ridiculous. And as far as DC and Marvel creators and the personnel, if people come to you with a grievance, okay, you're a fantasy merchant. We're consumers. You're selling a product. I mean, even if you don't agree with the negative criticism the person gives you, save that for private. Be respectful in public. Save your grievances for private, because attacking people in public is not the way to go. No matter what you say, it's not the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, actually, I kind of started to get into it that we're kind of piggybacking off that off the big show, and that's why you and I both want to build build a base here and have people interested in our upcoming projects, even if it's a month away or a year away or whatever. So we're gonna. Oops, I've got like smoke coming in front of my camera.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this channel. We're gonna be working hard to try and build that up, and I am not gonna ask EVS to. I'm not gonna demand that he have me on his show, and hopefully we will have crossovers at some point later. But yeah, I'm gonna shamelessly plug this this channel and call it Comicsgate until he tells me to stop.
Just like how I was on an England team show last night. That was a starstruck moment.
Yeah.
That I earned. I got on his good graces and I earned it. And I was very, very, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity. Being able to be on the stream with Tug, even though it was for like 45 minutes, that was an honor right there. And you got to start off small. A lot of people feel that their voices aren't heard, but you got to start off small. A lot of people want to jump on somebody else's stream and automatically, I'm up here with the greats. Now I can be heard. No, you can be heard on Twitter, speaking your mind respectfully. You could be heard on YouTube, speaking your mind respectfully, or Twitch, or wherever else you want to go to make videos, speak your mind. As long as you're doing it respectfully, it's A-OK. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to jump on EVS's show to speak your mind. Make videos. They got people making videos all the time. I mean, no, you're not going to get the EVS numbers. You're not going to get the PewDiePie numbers. You're not going to get the Maximilian Dude or Marky Pyler numbers, or even the Jontron or Tyrone Magnus numbers. But if you start off small and you do it respectfully and you build your fan base, you build your brand, the numbers will come in. They'll keep coming in. You'll get monetized, whatever you're looking for, and you'll get the attention of the bigger names, and then maybe you'll be able to stream with them and talk to them and go on their shows and stuff. But you got to put in the work. You got to put the work in. Just like, they had, I've seen crossovers I never thought I would see before. Like I've seen Coefficient and Maximilian Dude playing Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle together. I've seen Bijou Mike and Noble from Lost Paws. They did a video together several months back. But those are big YouTube names that have a lot of followers, a big fan base, and they're very entertaining gentlemen. If you want those numbers, if you want that fan base, you got to be entertaining, you got to be respectful, and then you'll get the attention of the bigger YouTube names. You'll get the attention of the people that's higher up on the totem pole, and you'll be able to stream with them and joke with them and have fun with them and have access to their fan base and gain more fans and more followers. But you have to be patient. You have to be respectful, patient, kind, considerate, humble, and if somebody's trolling you, ignore them.
Yeah.
If somebody's criticizing you, say thank you, move on. Thank you. I'll do better in the future. Thank you for watching. Move on. But engage in negativity and throwing temper tantrums because you can't get on EVS's show. You can't do a show with Bijou Mike. You can't. You're not acknowledged by Marky Pilot. Throwing temper tantrum and getting upset is only going to get you negative feedback. It's only going to get you hate from the fans of these people, from the millions and legions of fans that follow these people, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Like everybody wants a blue check next to their name on Twitter, but you have to earn the right to get that blue check. You have to be somebody. For being a big baby and throwing temper tantrums when you can't get your way, or begging to jump on other people's shows and being a complete nobody, a complete Joe Smo or James Smo, is not going to get you that blue check. It's not going to get you recognition. It's not going to get you respect. So you got to be patient. You got to be loving, kind, respectful, and patient.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not gonna hold my breath on the blue check mark on Twitter. I don't really care.
I
That to
mean, yeah,
me,
but you can get it one day. You could get it one day though.
I don't. I don't know. I look at it as I mean that it's basically like at this point they've changed it to mean you are a right thinker. You express the correct views and that sort of thing. And it's yeah. I look very. I'm very suspicious of almost anyone with a blue check.
Well, I mean, most of the people with blue checks next to their name on Twitter are famous people, celebrities. You got to be somebody important in the media or out there in the public eye to get a blue check, whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever.
See you later, Mike Parletti. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. And
Thank you, good people.
he mentioned possibly doing a stream with us or going on his show, going on our show, whatever.
And I would love that. I welcome that because we all got to help each other. Each one teach one. We all got to help each other. We all got to build each other up. We all got to take care of each other, but in a respectful manner. And you start off small.
Yeah,
That's why I reached out to you. I reached out to Custom Song Maker. I reached out to all the people who are the regulars in the comment section in these live streams, like you, myself, Darth Bobcat, Custom Song Maker, March Hare, Bagel Goose. I reached out to these people because we're known, but we're known for popping up in the chats. So you got to start off small. Reach out to people who are small on the totem pole, but are known, and then you build yourself up from there. Then you get the notice of a umbrella guy. Then you get the notice of a weaponized nerd rage. Then you get the notice of a EVS, the notice of a Marky Pilot, the notice of somebody bigger than that. Mm-hmm. You start off small, stay humble, and you work your way up to the big, huge names. Like I said, I worked my way up to getting on England Teen Show, and I'm highly grateful for that. Weaponized Nerd Rage came on. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh my God, Weaponized Nerd Rage is here. I was in on the inside, I was jumping up and down for joy. Like I really felt I was among stars. I mean, we just did a stream with Tug. I feel like I'm among a star. I'm amongst a star, somebody important, in the community. I like that, but I had to work for that. It didn't just come overnight. I didn't just say, "Hey Tug, get on the stream with me," or "Hey Tug, can I get on the stream with you?" No, it's something that I worked for, and I'm glad I put in that work. But you got to carry yourself a certain way.
Yeah.
You got to, and because people like Ethan won't let you on their show or they ignore your DMs, you can't sit there and make videos like blah blah blah. He's a gatekeeper. He's this. He's that because he ignores my DMs and won't let me on his show. I mean, I DM'd Ethan 3 times since I've been following him, and he hasn't responded. He's responded to two tweets of mine though. One tweet I said it was something along the lines of like a thank you or something about advice or something. And the second tweet I got from him was, me not feeling well lately, having the infection and whatnot. And he said, well, I'm glad that my show keeps you smiling. Get well soon. Thank you. And that was it. And, I appreciate that. That I'm humbled by that. People want to jump in the swimming pool and just automatically like, yeah, I'm hanging amongst the stars. I mean, you can't jump over the fence or hit the ground just out of nowhere. Like I'm I'm Tommy Trash Can, let me on yourself. You can't do that. Tommy Trash Can has to build his brand up, before he could sit there and be like, oh, I'm such and such EVS. Let me on your show. No, you got to build your brand up. You got to build your personality up. You got to make your presence known. I mean,
Hold
maybe.
on. You can keep talking, but I got to take this call real quick.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead. Okay. I just hope everybody's having a good morning. I hope everybody is blessed and highly favored. All this Twitter drama and YouTube drama and stuff is really not worth it. I mean, turn the other cheek. That's when you got to deal with the Renfamouses and you got to deal with the Jason Youngbluths and the Mark Wades and the anti-comics gate. Turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. I mean, ignore them. Even if you don't want to block them, because you may feel that blocking seems like cowardness or you're cowardly, just turn the other cheek. Just keep doing you, stay respectful, stay positive, stay kind and loving, and be the best person you can be. I mean, look at Nerd Wonder. Nerd Wonder is one of the sweetest people in Comicsgate and Teen Comics on YouTube. Nerd Wonder loves everybody. She's nice to everybody. She's respectful. And she's never said a bad thing about anybody. She just wants to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody happy. So there's a method to being nice. You're not being soft. You're not being a coward. You're not being a pushover. But when you come off as somebody lovable that people want to get behind, when you're a creator, a writer, or artist, people want to buy your stuff. People want to put money on your Indiegogos. People want to support you. People will love you. You become like Cecil. Cecil's funny. He's lovable. He's adorable. Cecil says it all the time. He doesn't have a job right now. He's not working. He lives with family. But Cecil has a beautiful personality. He's funny. People love him. He's humble. You know, you got to be the best you that you can be in order to get where you're trying to get to. Just be the best person. It's not being soft. It's not being, excuse me, it's not being a chump or a coward or weak when infamous or whoever, when somebody trolls you and you ignore them or you hit them with some kind words or, you ignore all the drama. You're not being soft. You're not being a weakling. It's the internet. I mean, ignore the drama, stay peaceful, stay loving. Look at all the good things of life. Life is beautiful and it's too short. We should all be here trying to be happy. We should all be here making each other happy. We should be here bringing the best out of each other, like a real family. I mean, especially in comic books and, in fandoms and geekdom and nerddom, we should all be being happy with each other, treating each other with love and respect, you know, having fun with each other, telling good stories. There's a lot of good stories coming out of Comicsgate, and there's a lot of stories that are okay, and there's a lot of stories that some people would say are, you know, could be better. But at the same time, we should all be trying to make each other better in a positive way, not a negative way, not a hurtful way, not a mean way, not a harmful way, a loving way. I've learned a lot from Dr. Naple. I've learned a lot from Critias, from Kung Lee. I've learned a lot from Van Skyrick, from Malin, from Miller, from that umbrella guy, from Weaponized Nerve Rage, from Mr. Boyette. I've learned a lot from these people. Captain Cummings. Geeky Sparkles, Neon from Clownfish TV. I've learned a lot from people I've never spoken to before, like Tyrone Magnus, like Maximilian Dew, like Coefficient. YouTubers who have a lot of subs and followers and respect. I learned a lot from these people. I learned a lot from Noble. I learned a lot from BG Mike. One thing they do that they all do, they're successful. They're entertaining, they're respectful, they're nice, and they treat their customers like gold. They don't go on Twitter, they don't go on Facebook, they don't go on YouTube cursing at people who disagree with them. They don't go arguing with people in public. They don't, they don't bash people. They don't attack people. I mean, you got to be respectful, people. You got to be loving, humble. Take Noble, for instance. Noble from Lost Pauls. Noble's always apologetic, even when he doesn't do anything wrong. He's respectful. He edits his videos to a degree to make sure he's not demonetized, to be family friendly, to just be an all around good guy, a role model to people. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a role model, a positive role model, because you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. You want to attract people, you want to sell stuff to people, you want people to like you, you want people to love you, you want to, be somebody that people respect. You want that blue check next to your name on Twitter. You want that recognition from the people who are higher up the food chain than you are. Be respectful, be loving, be graceful. Do something meaningful. Show some kindness. I'm not saying go out there and give to every charity on earth. I'm not saying, it's not a Christian thing, so to speak. It's not a Islamic thing. It's not a Catholic thing. It's not even a Buddhist thing. I'm talking about being nice in general. I mean, it's good to have religion. It's good to believe in a higher power. That helps humble you. But at the same time, just being an all-around good, nice, loving, decent person, that helps you get through life. Being respectful to your elders, being respectful to your peers, being able to go to your elders, being able to go to your betters, and asking to be taught, asking to be educated, asking to be guided. I went to Doug Ernst and asked him to teach me what he knows about journalism. I went to Doug TeNapel, EBS, John Miller, Mike S. Miller, people who have been doing this, telling stories way longer than me. And I said, teach me, show me. Show me what I got to do to be where you're at. And I mean, I don't hate these guys. I respect these guys and love these guys. Do I want to be where they're at? No, I want to be above where they're at. And it's not competition. It's not a challenge. It feels good to have hundreds of thousands of dollars like EVS and the rest of these guys. It's a good feeling to make all that money on a comic book. But at the same time, I want to shoot for something higher. I want to shoot for the millions, like like your Stephen Kings, like your J.K. Rowlings, like your Anne Rices. I want to shoot to be somebody on the status of like a Dwayne Johnson or somebody on the status of like a Sylvester Stallone or somebody like that. You always aim higher. It's good to want to be like EVS. It's good to want to be funny like EVS, have the money that EVS has, but why not aim higher than that if you can? I mean, you never know. You could do a YouTube channel. You could, write a book, do a comic book, and be more talented than EVS. You could be funnier on a microphone than EVS, or whatever the case may be. You know, there's room on this planet. There's room in the entertainment industry for everybody. There's 7 billion plus people on this planet. Hollywood is big enough for everybody. Bollywood is big enough for everybody. The Hong Kong and Asian movie market is big enough for everybody. You could do whatever you want to if you put your mind to it. You could do whatever you want to. You could be whatever you want to. As long as you put your mind to it. There's a lot. God gives everybody a special gift. God gives everybody talent. Everybody has a God-given gift. Everybody has talent Everybody has something that God gave them, something that they can do to be the best they are at what they do. God gave EVS amazing, impeccable drawing talent. He's one of the best artists out there. God gave Mike S. Miller his drawing talents.
Sorry, I'm back.
It's cool. It's cool. I was just giving words of wisdom to the crowd. It's cool.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I've got
no, I was
go ahead.
sorry about that. What you saying?
I was just saying my girlfriend has been going to the Mayo Clinic. She's been ill for quite some time with an unknown illness that we have not actually been able to diagnose yet. But it's
I'll keep her in prayer. I'll
thank
definitely keep her in prayer.
yeah. I mean she's had lifelong issues. She has a autoimmune disease that that's caused like type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto's, and a bunch of other things. But it got worse, like severely worse, about 3 years ago. And so, uh, yeah, I've been going from doctor to doctor to doctor with absolutely no answers as to what the hell's going on. And finally, luckily, we have a branch of the Mayo Clinic here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and so I've been taking her there for several months, and they're actually making progress. And I started to look up some of the things that we had suspected she might have or might be happening. And it's like, yeah, this was first identified by so and so of the Scottsdale Mayo Clinic, and we're like, okay, we're in the right place. We're going to the right place. So yeah, they're amazing, amazing experts. So yeah, they're making progress. They're figuring out. So, and she's actually feeling a lot better than she did, a year ago. So
That's good.
actually making progress. So it's
That's
not.
a good thing.
I suspect it's going to be a whole bunch of. I don't know if we're ever going to get a real diagnosis like this is what it's called. It's just a bunch of symptoms, and we just have to figure out how to make the symptoms better.
Well, I'm definitely gonna keep her in prayer because I mean, health problems it's a downer, especially
Yeah.
something that you were born with. It's just a downer. It could be a hindrance.
Hmm.
Sometimes it could be a blessing in disguise. You never know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
always fight to get better. And I will
yeah.
definitely keep her in prayer and pray that she keeps fighting through it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, she kind of joked when this all started. She's like, "Well, maybe I should just retire." She's 29, by the way. So, and when it started, she was obviously 26, and she was like, "Maybe I should just retire." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And she was like, "No, I'm just kidding." And because she loves working. And then it kind of became, "Yeah, I'm retired." She's like, "I can't work." She absolutely cannot work. And unfortunately, so she's been retired since she was 26. But now, actually, believe it or not, she's been saying, "Oh, I'd really like to get back to work. I'd really like to do this or that." So I'm like,
Yeah, because for
"Great."
what I hear, sometimes sitting at home can be very boring, but it depends on
Oh
what
yeah,
you're doing. I mean,
well,
I went. Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say she's been doing absolutely nothing. I mean, like it's hard to imagine, but for almost 3 years now, or maybe 2.5 years, she's
Does she have any
unfortunate.
hobbies?
What's that?
Does she have any hobbies?
She can't do anything.
I'm
Um,
sorry. Definitely
she
sorry to hear that.
literally some days she literally cannot move. It's incredibly painful. It's incredibly taxing. She'll get up to go to the bathroom, and her heart rate will go up to 150 beats a minute. And
Crazy.
and when she gets back and sits down, it feels like she just ran a marathon, just going to the bathroom. So it's rough.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep her in prayer. That is something rough to deal with. I could not imagine dealing with something that rough.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, she has hobbies she would love to do. I mean, well, she loves to work. She's a programmer. She's an engineer. Um, that was her love, as far as you know, doing things that she enjoyed, and she's just not been able to do it at all. But like I said, lately she's been fiddling with things and you know doing a little bit and talking about going back to work. So I know that's what she'd love to do. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, I'm gonna keep her in prayer because
Yeah.
yeah, this sounds like something real rough to go through. It
Yeah,
really does.
yeah. It's like, well, she's 29. What does she like to do? It's like she can't do anything. Like literally, she cannot move. It's hard to explain to people, but it's just like it's horrible. It's horrible. But no, well, I don't want to bring everything down or anything like that because, like I said, she's doing better, and
That's
that was
good.
just the Mayo Clinic calling with some test results. So I just wanted to make sure I got that.
I don't know why you was going. I was just basically saying. I was saying how this community could be so much better. All the people out here that feel that they're not being platformed or they feel that people like EVS or whoever owes them a platform because you got a lot of fans. Let me try to clarify it in the best words possible. We have a lot of fans, and you see this with movie stars and stuff and musicians. You have a lot of fans that swear for some weird, crazy reason because they buy your books, they buy your music, or they watch your movies that they're automatically owed. They're owed your respect. They're owed your admiration. They're owed a chance to be up there with you on your platform, whether it be a YouTube channel, on the stage with you, or even in a movie with you, or something crazy like that. And you know, here's the thing: if you're famous, you have a famous piece of work, or you're a movie star, singer, musician, whatever you are. I mean, I you appreciate the fans buying you stuff. I mean, not buying. Let me take that back. Let me change that. You appreciate the fans buying your products, buying your stuff, buying into your brand. You know, and you be respectful to your fans. You be courteous to your fans and thankful. Now, on the fan aspect, these people that you idolize don't owe you anything. They don't owe you the time of day. They don't owe you a spot on their YouTube show. They don't owe you an autograph or a picture or whatever the case may be. I mean, you have to be respectful with that stuff. The creators and the people selling you their brand have to be respectful, and the fans have to be respectful too. And this community could be so much better on both ends if the creators learned their place and stayed in their place, and the fans if they stayed in their place too, because you have a lot of respectful creators, a lot of loving, respectful people who are willing to give all the love and admiration they can, all the time that it's allowed to them, to the people who admire them. But at the same time, as a fan, you can't sit there and be like, oh, this person is this way. They're ignoring me. They're ignoring my DMs. They're ignoring my tweets. They're not paying no attention to me. And I watch their movies and I buy their music and they owe that to me. No, they don't owe that to you. They don't owe that to you. For every fan that EVS loses, he has 5, 10, 15 fans that show up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, nobody owes nobody anything in this business. It's you're a creator, you're selling a product, you're a fan, you're buying that product. The fans stay respectful, the creators stay respectful, and it's a merry-go-round of happiness, or it should be a merry-go-round of happiness to keep everybody happy, everybody going, like that. But instead, you have people who they just take it, their love, their admiration for people, they take it to the extreme. Like the people with EVS who demand to be on his show, or the people who sit there and say, "Hail Caesar, hail the God King," and I'll die for EVS, or I'll go troll for EVS, or I'll attack this person for EVS. No, you're not being a fan. You're being an obsessed weirdo that needs to tone it down some. Like if I let's say if I get to that point one day where I'm making EVS money, or if I'm making Stephen King money, and I find out I got crazy fans out there like, yeah, I kill for you, I go attack for you, this person for you, I go troll these people for you. No, I don't want that. I didn't ask for that. I'm against that. I'm not for that. I don't want that. If you like my work, if you love my work, I appreciate that. If you're buying my work, I appreciate you and I love you. But never be so obsessed with something material because you're not supposed to be obsessed with material things anyway. that you're willing to throw your life away for something like that. Give your life to a cause, give your life to a religion, give your life to a charity, give your life to God or whoever you worship and believe in. Don't give your life to a mortal person or a product because that's idol worship and that's not what you're supposed to do.
Right. Well, and I think the bigger problem is other creators feeling um, entitled, or uh, how do I put it? That people who have other projects out there, they're not doing this. We know that what we're doing is creating their own channel, creating their own audience, and I guess they feel like not they're not able to, or that even if they did, they would never get the number of subscribers or what have you. But I mean, people got to remember, literally a year ago, Ethan had 0 subscribers. Zero. He started his channel. I understand there was name recognition, but really, I mean, who had heard of your boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer, 2 years ago? And he, by making his videos the way he did, he has more subscribers than Ethan at this point, still. And, uh, you know, because he put in the work to do that, and that wasn't even his goal at the time. He was just making videos, but yeah, people got to put in the work. They can't just be like, well, I have an Indiegogo. If Ethan's not promoting it, he's gatekeeping. It's like that's not gatekeeping. It's your project. It's up to you to promote it. And hey, if it's good enough and you start to put in that work and get his attention and have a following, maybe you will get on his show. But I would never, I would never dream of just expecting that. I'd be like, well, that would be fantastic, but I'm never going to count on that. Never. So yeah, it got a little ridiculous there. It's getting ridiculous, but yeah, people have been doing that from the beginning. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, sadly, it's ridiculous on both ends. It's ridiculous from creators. It's ridiculous from the fans, and like I said, it's a two-way street. The creators have to be respectful. The fans have to be respectful, and it's we could all be better. We could all definitely be better in how we handle this, how we deal with this, and that's just the way it should be. You can't get anywhere being, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't get anywhere being completely, totally disrespectful to people. You can't get anywhere being, you know, a complete and total butt clown to people. That's not how it works. You get
Right.
like I keep saying. I mean, you could come out with a book or whatever. Even people in like the music industry or whatever industry, even movie stars and stuff. You have people who, I mean, have lackluster products or their products don't sell that well, but they're decent, good people, and everybody loves them.
Yeah.
And if you carry yourself a certain way, your product could be, no matter how mundane your product is, people will buy into it because you carry yourself a certain way.
Hmm.
You gotta sit. It's all about how you carry yourself. It's all about how you treat your customers. It's all about how your public image is. You can't have uh crazy and crazy public image or the image of somebody who's always in trouble, always in conflict, and expect to keep a fan base. I mean,
Yeah.
that may work for some people,
Hmm.
but in the long run, it doesn't work for everybody. You got some people who built careers off of controversy, off of being rebels, and off of being complete and total jerks to people. But at the same time, that's because they do it in a way that people still like them. Even the
Hmm.
people that do jerks to like them. But you can't. That formula doesn't work for everybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't, and it's not going to work for everybody.
Well, I see Mike Miller's live. I don't know what he's doing, but
He's addressing the drama too.
yeah. So I think we're probably going to wrap it up here, and
Yeah, he's addressing all the drama that's going on too.
yeah, I'm going to go see
Because
what that's all about.
yeah, the title of his show is actually drama. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
saw
check it out too,
that.
probably.
I saw that. All right, well, cool. It's good talk, and I'm going to be I'm actually going to be streaming a new game. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just stick with the way we ended up doing it this way instead of trying to fiddle with OBS because that's just been a nightmare the last 2 days. So I think I figured out how to just do this and keep it simple. And then when I do like game streaming, and I'll upload videos here, and of course to your channel, I'll make sure to put a link to your channel as well. But
I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
no problem. And we'll, I mean, I'm okay. We can even share these super chats and stuff like that if you know.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not going to take money from you. It's your money.
Oh
You
well,
earned it. You earned it. I'm not greedy. You know, I'm not
well,
greedy.
you
It's
know,
all your money.
we're starting this show together, so we'll figure it out. But anyway, I am gonna actually. There's an interesting new game that I'm gonna stream later, but I think I'm just gonna stick to Twitch with that stuff. And right now, I'm gonna go check out Blacklist Universe.
Yeah, let's go see what's going on because everybody's got to take on it.
Yep, I'll catch you later, man.
All right, thank you, brother. Always a pleasure.
You too. See ya.
Take care.
Take care. Good night. Goodbye.